Hello, Chris Bombolas for Nine's Wide World of Sports. Welcome to our coverage of the Winfield State League semi-finals. Two matches for you tonight. First up, it's a match between Valleys and Brothers, and the almighty diehards trying to take all before them. Okay, our commentators as per usual are Alan Thomas, Bruce Warwick and Mr T. Let's go down to the sideline and find out their thoughts.
Well, thank you, Chris. Valleys and Brothers semi-final of the Winfield State League. You've got long odds, Bruce, about Brothers being here at the start of the competition.
Yeah, I think so, but they've performed well. They have made it, and I'm sure now in the pre-season they're for and against a lot better, and their form on the board at the moment's excellent. I think they'll win comfortably again tonight.
Yes, they do look hard to beat, Valleys. They had a number of players out at the weekend against Redcliffe, came up with some beautiful replacements, and they look the goods again this season. I think Valleys to win.
Well, guys, you won't get any argument from me. I'll make it 3 out of 3 for the diehards. And speaking of Valleys, they make their way out onto Lang Park, led out by captain Tony Catton. Here's how they line up for tonight's semi-final of the Winfield State League. The backs are Burke, Shields, Coyne, Buckley, Hegarty, Daunt and Shadell. And the forwards, Anderson, Fraser, Rolls, Boys, Ziggy Strasser and, of course, Tony Catton, the captain. And looking forward to a big game.
And referee for tonight's match is Lou Crane in the semi-final of the Winfield State League between Valleys and Brothers. And good to see a referee from the bush down here, Bruce Warwick. We're used to seeing all the Brisbane referees, but the boy from the country getting a go tonight.
Yeah, it's a good go. I believe he's from Central Queensland, and it'll be interesting to see how he takes the aggression of both these packs of forwards, particularly the Valleys pack.
All right, quick throw to the sideline, Rod Tiley.
Well, Don Lancashire was talking about Lou Crane, the man from Rockhampton. Very impressed with him. He says that he'll be able to do the job quite well tonight and is very much in the running for the weekend's final of the Winfield State League. Rossy Henrick telling them to hit hard in the first 20 minutes to make sure they're creative around dummy half and to play no-mistake football inside Brothers territory. Greg Holborn, the Brothers coach, was saying that what he wants is to make sure the brethren are not overawed by this Valleys combination. He spent a lot of time in talking to them one-on-one and saying that they are just another footballer up against them. So don't be overawed and play to our patterns is the message from Greg Holborn.
Well, Greg Holborn will be quite happy with this pattern. It's a penalty to Brothers. And in kicking distance as well, if they decide they're only 32 metres out and almost in front. So what's the decision going to be? Gavin Darwin's going to kick for touch. By the look of it, so Brothers are going to keep the pressure applied to Valleys. He's almost kicked it backwards. He's kicked it, I reckon, 3 feet, 1 metre. The only thing in his favour, he did go forward. Now this is Kevin Smith, right on the 22-metre line. The brethren in the semi-finals of the Winfield State League, and Jones is holding it. Anderson didn't fall for the dummy, and I think he's got Anderson for putting one in too. Well, he's got one of them. Bit of an elbow from Anderson. Valley's coach Tony Catton with him. And now we'll see what Gavin Darwin does with this penalty.
Have a look at the replay there. And I think yeah, we can see a bit of an elbow coming down there, and it was right on. He's also sporting a very bad eye there, obviously, from last week or during the week.
Yeah, that's the one that was stitched.
So Darwin raises the flags. And Brothers lead by 2 points to 0. 3.5 minutes gone first half. Yes, that's the legacy, Peter Anderson's legacy from the Redcliffe game at the weekend.
There's 8 stitches in that eye, or just in the cut under the eye.
Might just keep an eye on Tony Jones for us too, Rod. I noticed he's got a blood streaming from his left eye, so he had a bit of a stint on the wing. He's gone back to his normal position now, so we'll see how he manages over the next 30 or 40 minutes or so. This is Harkin. Cleal. Johnny McGraw goes to dummy half. Back to Lachlan. Churchill. And that's running towards the touchline. Hegarty picks it up, and right on the 22-metre line is where he goes to ground. It's Burke over to Shields, who had a fine game at the weekend. David Burke back in the lineup. He missed Sunday's game against Redcliffe. It's Darren Fraser, the hooker. He's in for Paul Fitzgerald tonight.
Coyne carrying a wrist injury to the right arm, and it looks like Cameron Gregg about to take the field.
See, they really are the walking wounded, aren't they, Valleys, at the moment, Rod?
They certainly have had a pretty tough time, and by the look of that arm, he's in a fair amount of pain. Probably go and have the doc check it, I'd imagine.
All right, so Cameron Gregg is on, and Brothers have possession. This is Churchill.
It's very bad luck for Peter Coyne, but gee, what a great strength they have in that halves area, with Daunt also still on the sideline.
Gavin Darwin getting a nice ball to Marks. Damien Marks kicks ahead. Crowthers for the ball. He couldn't dive on it. No try. I thought Andrew Crowther was going to dive on the ball. He tried to actually hold it in his hands. I think if he dives on it, he scores.
It was certainly beautiful work, and what great work from Marks. The infield kick off the left foot, and there it goes there. I'm not sure whether he's a natural left footer or not, but it's a perfect kick. And Crowther did have the opportunity there just to go forward with the body and take the ball and take it to the ground. So it's
not only was standing in an offside position, so Brothers luckily get away with that as Churchill tests out Burke. Burke playing on the wing, Hegarty wearing 5 going to fullback. Funny thing about Valleys, you never know where they play. They wear any number and play anywhere in the park. There's no such thing as stability of positional play. This is Cameron Gregg, who's replaced Coyne.
Been a fairly impressive start from Brothers in their defence. They've been aggressive, they've been strong, they've had a good chasing game on the kick so far, and it'll be good if they can keep it up and really stick it up to Valleys at this stage.
So Daunt's going to test out Conlon and Smith. John Conlon the fullback, Kevin Smith the winger. There's Brett Daunt. He has bulked up a bit, hasn't he, since he's been overseas? Wouldn't know him. By the time he gets back here and plays a bit of football in the heavier conditions or the hotter conditions. Oh, have a look at Conlon. But there's been a push in there.
That was very unlucky, actually, for Conlon, because Kevin Smith was number 2, was the player that he actually ran in. Have a look here as he comes across field. Smith gets in between the defender, and I think it was fairly accidental, but the penalty's been awarded to Valleys.
His Brothers, a very formidable outfit this year. They've struggled over the last couple of seasons, but with a couple of the younger players and the Broncos Colts coming into the side, it's given rejuvenation to the more senior players. Johnny McGraw won. He's an experienced player now. Players like Shane McErlean. Those fellows have lifted their game. And with players like Eric Kennedy coming back into the side, that actually on paper they're not a bad side. Gavin Darwin's playing beautiful football in the centres as Hegarty makes no mistake with the extras, and that's 2-all. And there's 10 minutes gone, first half.
you go back to when we saw brothers last time go down to Ipswich, Alan, out at the Ipswich Reserve, it was a very wet, heavy day, and they still continued or tried to play their open style football. Here, where the conditions suit that, on this beautiful Lang Park ground, they could go very well.
So right on the 22-metre line is where Tony Catton will play the football. It's now with Strasser. Strong defence from Cleel. Big fella Frank Rolls, takes a lot to get him to the ground. Shadell tried to beat the tackle of Michael Moore, who's hurt in that tackle. He couldn't do so. Kennedy over the top. Anderson kicking for Conlon. He's beaten Anderson. Dawn and Buckley are now the tacklers.
Story on Peter Coyne, off to hospital with a dislocated elbow.
Yeah, the real playmaker in the Valley's team. So Michael Moore down in back play. This is McErlean. Out they go. That's Jones linking up with Churchill. Now, is that too big? Yes. Not much. Idea was right.
Churchill has got a big boot on him. We've seen him kick now 3 times in the game, and the first 2 were big towering ones. That one was more an attempted place to lob it just inside the touchline. Have a look as he comes back, lines it up. He just pushes it for the line, but goes out.
So brothers come up with one against the feed. Kennedy about 12 short of the quarter. McGraw through Jones, Churchill, Darwin, strong runner will probably take him on. He's wrestled to the ground and fell awkwardly. Cameron Grigg over the top of him. Churchill. Buckley's got hold of him with boys. They're driven back on the tackle. They're on the final tackle now. Jones will call for it. Gets the kick in. Hegarty doesn't move. Not a good kick. So can he link up with support? So it's Strasser giving it to Shields. Fraser at dummy half to Shadell. Daunt cuts out Anderson, picks up Boys. That's a nice tackle from Darwin. Read the play well. Daunt for Anderson out wide, and Darwin again the tackle with John McGraw. Well, they're giving Valleys plenty for their corner, the brethren. It's out on the full coming off a Brothers player, so Valley should have the loose-headed feed.
Very willing defence in the centre of the field. You can hear these hits.
Well, I think at the start of the season, Rod, you get long odds brothers being in the semi-finals of the State League, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you certainly would. And a couple of players, as you were mentioning, fellas like Kennedy and Darren Marks, gee, they make a difference.
This is Cameron Grigg. Tackle ball and all by Andrew Crowther. This is Buckley. 10 metres short of the quarter. Daunt and Shadell linking. Catton's found a half gap. Now they've tried to give Shields a bit of room. Over comes Jones, and Jones gets him beautifully.
Good halfback tackle in cover defence.
And very good refereeing too, because there was only a small knock on in the tackle, and Shields trying to say that he didn't do it. Have a look. Good pass there from Catton. Shields had to wait. Then he tries to stand up the number, but a beautiful tackle from Jones. Just have a look at the little knock on there. And he tried to get up and say he didn't do it, but good refereeing.
Steve Telfer is on now and playing it lock forward, and out comes Michael Moore after that head knock.
So brothers outside their own 22. Smith.
Go low, go low!
Kennedy hit solidly in the tackle. McGraw on the short side. Harkin can't get his hands free. Now Jones over to Churchill. Little grubber kick, and here's Darwin on the fly, but Dawn will be there first. Couldn't take it, but got the bounce. And he's got space. Here comes The pass has gone to Buckley. Shadell. Oh, and that's come against the run of play. Well, not so much the run of play, but Daunt somehow got the ball back in his hands after the juggling act, found himself in space, found the support, and in the end it's the halfback Trevor Shadell over under the post, and that will be a soul-searching blow to the brethren. 6-0 Valley's lead.
Very unlucky for Brothers because the kick there goes right along the ground. It was in good space. Now have a look at Dawn come across. It touches the hand. It could have went anywhere there, but he's able to regather and just keeps Brothers on the off. Shows a lot of speed off the mark there into the line. Then a good pass across the top. Picks up Buckley, and then Buckley has Shadell with a lot of pace backing up nicely and scores right under the post. But unlucky there for Brothers. You couldn't say that the attempt at grubber was a failure because it could have easily went the other way. But the try has gone to Valleys, to Trevor Shadell. There it is, the tap over the top, regathers and just caught them on the nap there. Shows a good turn of space as he sprints away into the open, and then Buckley at 4 takes the pass over the top, and then Shadell's there with a nice little pass up for him for the easy try.
Good work from Peter Shields. He ducked his head to get out of the way. And Cameron Gregg doing the... I'll talk about him in a moment. We'll just watch this conversion. So Brothers lead by 8 points to 2. Harkin going to ground. So McGraw to get the kick in. Hegarty on the halfway. Gives it to Burke, who changes direction. He's over the quarter. It's gone to Shields. Back inside to Buckley. Oh, this is good stuff, Valleys. Yes, Brothers don't have the answer for that type of attack. But it was David Burke. The change of direction ran about the halfway mark that did the damage. And Shane Buckley into score. Valleys now lead 12 points to 2.
Now the damage was done here, Alan, when the kick went straight down Hegarty's hands. That's twice now they've kicked to him and he hasn't even had to run. He's a class player and it's only a simple change of direction, and from then on it's just poor defence. He goes through those tackles that should have normally put him down. A good long pass picks up Shields, and then Shields does well for a good inside pass to Buckley, and Buckley runs around for a try. But the kicking game there must keep the ball away from players like Hegarty and Shields when they're kicking deep.
And the other part I like about the try is by the time Buckley gets the ball down, he's got 3 teammates beside him. Shields just drawing in 2 defenders. Now there's Buckley, and have a look at his teammates. There's another 3 there waiting. Look at that. I don't think they were short of men when they got to the try line. But Burke showing a good change of direction and change of pace. But by the same token, I think John Collins' attempted tackle with a little bit to be desired.
There was 3 attempted tackles in there that Greg Holborn wouldn't be very impressed with at all, but more so the kicking. We just can't. McGraw was the man, I think, that was trying to clear the ball. The idea was right again, but you can't kick it straight to players of that class and expect them not to attack back.
So Shane Buckley starting to mature as a footballer now.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with Buckley. I think he's a very good centre.
Hegarty adds the extras. Valleys lead 14 points to 2, and there's 18 minutes to the break. Now, one thing that Brothers can't do now is let Valley steamroll them. Okay, the first try was a bit of a chancy one, but that was scored in the 17th minute, and 3 minutes later they let them in again. Brothers need to score a try. They need to get a confidence booster. Maybe they might have to kick on earlier tackles, Bruce. Maybe they've got to try something different. Chip over the top, turn Valleys around, take the chances. Just outside their own quarter now, the diehards. Boys. He's got Grigg with a bit of room, but McErlean's coming and cover. And Cameron Grigg will take his tackle.
Starting to miss first tackles, Brothers, too. They need some intensity back there.
Anderson losing the ball. Strasser diving on it. So the scrum to form.
Just simple stuff, the ball going forward from Anderson. He just couldn't control it in the tackle.
This is Marks trying to get around his man, but he can't do so. Lachlan Churchill from dummy half.
Good hit, Rolton.
You know, at Valley's pattern of defence, Bruce, they have 3 in the back line.
when you can afford to do that, Alan, you're really confident the guys up front are going to knock their man over.
Certainly are. There's 1, 2, there's Daunt, Hegarty, Shields, and a line of 3 out at the back. So 10 doing the work up front. Jones puts it high. Daunt's underneath it. Takes it well.
And there we see again the kick going straight to the player. And it doesn't matter if they've got 3 back there. The kicker must be able to find the open spaces to give the ball a chance to bounce in their favour.
Buckley. Richard Boy's down, just putting his boot on. Strasser. Nice tackle by Cleal. So Hegarty getting a big kick in. That's the difference in the kicking. That's gone over Conlon's head. It sits up for him. Now, Valley straight line of defence wasn't up there, so Conlon has a bit of a gallop. Telfer. Harkin. Back to McGraw. So 10 metres inside now, Valley's territory of the Brethren.
Kahu Tweedy on in 16 for Darren Fraser.
Crowther's away. Now can he beat Hegarty? He'll have a good go at it. He can't. Great tackle by Hegarty, 5 out from the line. Now it's gone to Jones, to Churchill. Who wants it? There should have been a runner there, and Lachlan Churchill goes on his own. 3 metres out from the line. Jones kicks, ricochets. Must admit, when did that come off? Off the referee. Yes, it's come off Lou Crane.
The bad luck continues for Valleys. Darren Fraser with a suspected broken collarbone.
Will they be able to field the team if they make it through to the finals? We'll soon find out. Well, Valleys have come up with that ball. There's Kahu Tweedy, who had a big game here against Redcliffe at the weekend.
Yeah, there's a few injuries on that Valley's bench, but gee, they're lucky that the depth they've got in this club, they can afford to lose 2 or 3 and not lose anything in the game.
Here's Catton linking up with support. Shields kicks ahead. Conlon struggling for it. How's the bounce? It's going to ruin him. Buckley's on the toe. Good night, nurse. He's done it again. Shane Buckley in to score. Well, everything's going right for Valleys. You could see Conlon trying desperately to get that ball. It was always going to be out of his reach. And Buckley showing a good head on him. He didn't try to pick up the first one. He towed it forward and then dived on the football. And Valleys now lead by 18 points to 2.
When you see the replay here, again, just intelligent football. When you're in control of a game, everything comes natural and comes easy. A nice pass there, and away goes Catton. And then he links up beautifully with Shields, who knows he can't do anything, kicks ahead, had Buckley in support. The bounce just out of the way of the fullback, and then Buckley does very nicely here and judges it perfectly to dive on it for the try. Excellent work from Valleys.
You notice the difference between Buckley's try and the one that Crowther missed. Now, this is Buckley showing intelligent football. Conlon couldn't get there. Now, Buckley doesn't try to pick it up on the toe. He doesn't try to pick the ball up over the try line. He just died. Oh, he does. Not made alive. He did pick it up. From my angle, I thought he might have dived just on it. So.
I don't think it mattered, Alan, because whether he picked it up or was going to dive, he was just in perfect position, but he knew exactly what he was going to do from the minute Conlon missed the ball there, and it's no fault of Conlon's.
Well, it was actually Kevin Smith.
Beautifully
just on
placed.
The replay. We've been a little bit harsh on Mr. Conlon. It was Smith actually struggling back to get it. But you feel sorry for Blake like Kevin Smith. I mean, he tried, but from our angle, you could always see he was never going to get there because the bounce of the ball just went Valley's way, as it has from the kickoff.
In full marks to Shield for his intelligence to place the ball. He knew that Buckley was alongside of him with defence around him. The kick ahead was good work.
And when it's your night, it's your night. Hegarty adds the extras. Valley's in front, 20 points to 2, 12 minutes to the break.
Players like Kennedy and Harkin, who are good runners of the football, I'd be taking them out a little bit wider off Jones rather than run off the dummy half.
So Crowther just outside the 22, 3.5 minutes to half time. At Jones, Churchill, McErlean, back to Churchill. Jones. Nice pass for Marks. He's out for the corner. Oh, great tackle from Hegarty. Great tackle from Hegarty. Lined him up, showed him the corner, and rode him into touch.
There's a beautiful pass from Jones. He picked up Marks, but Marks ran well onto the ball. He ran hard. He took the option to try and stand him up on the outside, but just didn't have quite enough room. The sideline was just a little bit close, but it was a good run and a good pass.
And a great tackle from that man on screen, Hegarty. Shadell out the back. Just on 2.5 minutes to half-time. It's been all Valleys in the first half. 20 points to 2, the lead. Anderson. Catton. Valley's got brothers going backwards at the moment. Shadell for Catton, for Tweedy rather. And he's got the pass beautifully to Greg and to Shields. To Buckley rather, right on the halfway mark. Shadell, Daunt. Who wants it? Round the back comes Shields. Floats one over the top to Burke. Crowther's in front of him, so Burke kicks ahead. Right into the hands of Lachlan Churchill. Darwin. The brothers standing still. They're throwing the ball, but they're not going anywhere. Someone has to run straight, and Telfer's got it now. Whoops, back to Jones. But they just can't find a way through. There's too many blue jerseys. McGraw to McErlean, inside to Cleal. Back to Jones. What's Churchill do? He gives it back to Jones. Jones is hit by Williams and has coughed up the ball. Running around in circles. Ringer Rosie at the moment. Tweedy. Lindsay Williams. Boys to take it up for number 3. Or 4. 2 left. Now, what's on? Cat. Daunt around the back. He gives it to Strasser on the fly. Strasser throws it to Hegarty, which looked forward. Last tackle. Quick hands. Daunt. Shadell's going to be caught. So there'll only be time for a couple of tackles, and that'll be the break. McGraw. Last tackle coming up. And that's half-time, and at the break, Valleys lead by 20 points to 2.
He is normally a halfback, but
between the players and the coaches in the dressing room at half-time.
Well, I tried to eavesdrop on Rossy Henrick's dressing room. He was saying all his things very quietly, so I didn't get a lot out of that other than to keep up the pressure. Greg Holborn, very verbal in his destruction of the brothers' players. He was saying that they just weren't intense enough. Stop kicking the ball down their throat, capitalise on your opportunities and stop giving Valleys theirs. And he was saying that they must score 2 tries first up in the first 10 minutes.
All right.
That's just something, Alan, that we could tell them. It's only whether the players can do it, but obviously Johnny McGaw is still going to kick the ball from dummy half. So the tactics haven't changed in that area.
Right, I note number 16, Colin Prince, is on for brothers.
Yes, and Steve Hooper's out there. 16, Colin Prince is on. In fact, Prince is 15. It's Steve Hooper in 16. Confirmation on those injuries for Valleys, by the way. Peter Coyne has had that dislocated elbow put back in place by Dr. Tom Dooley. He believes he'll be right for Sunday, but it is a broken collarbone for Darren Fraser.
All right, so we've got Hooper on the field in 15, and this is Kahu Tweedy, tackled by his opposite number, strangely enough, the 2 16s. Don't often see that on a field, Bruce. No, you don't. All right, back to Crowther. He's got the ball. just outside his own 22. Very talkative man, Bruce Warwick. Conlon. The first thing brothers have to do is control the ball and not lose possession in their own territory. Get down the other end and hope for Valleys to make mistakes, something they haven't made a lot of in the Winfield State League this year. Darwin trying to break the tackle. Well, Burke did the right thing and let him go. He knew he wasn't in the proper position to mark. Churchill, nice kick.
And that's the difference, Alan. That's what we're saying. Churchill needs to, that might just give him the confidence he needs to be the kicker again, because after that try in the first half, scored against a little grubber kick, it's good to see him back with the ball. I noticed Richard Boy's limping very badly in back play, and in fact might be going off at the moment. Rod might be able to tell us more.
This is Shadell. Very quick over a short space, Shadell. The first 15 metres, 20 metres, he's lightning off the mark. That's Shane Rubisane, number 18 for Valleys, and he's on for Boys, and this is Williams.
Story on Grant Cleal is that he's done the AC joint in the shoulder, so that's the reason for that replacement.
And Shadell getting hands free. The pass has gone to Buckley. There's a Valleys player held back. It won't make any difference. Oh, he's got Hegarty for being forward. Well, there certainly was a Valleys player held back in the chase. But oh, don't they support the ball carrier? I mean, there was players everywhere. They all end up getting in their own road. Look at this. There's 5 of them there.
It's good support play, but again, and I don't want to be seen to be picking on poor Johnny McGraw, but it was his attempted tackle that allowed Valleys to run through. He went through very fast, didn't line up the man, and allowed him to be easily stepped, and off went a long run of about 40 or 50 metres from that missed tackle. And that's things that brothers certainly can't afford to do. This penalty will obviously help them now get downfield, and let's hope they can mount an attack from there.
So Darwin makes sure he finds touch this time outside his own quarter. Andrew Crowther.
Well, Greg Holborn just on screen there would really be feeling the pinch, and then mistakes that have riddled brothers' game all the match so far are starting off in the second half when he would have been looking for a good clean start.
Catton's picked it up at the back. He almost tried to go through. Support now from Shadell and Daunt. And out wide to Grigg. And that'll be knocked on. So Valley's making a mistake. At 20-2, if you're going to make them, that's the time to do it.
Yeah, that was from the scrum base. It was the play was coming. It would have been a good idea just to take the tackle and hang on. But I suppose when tries have been coming so freely, you're prepared to try anything.
He's starting to hammer Valleys in these scrum penalties. Moving off the mark and collapsing in the front row.
The brothers have got 6 straight. That's penalties I'm talking about. And they're going to need them. It's amazing what confidence can do if you can score a try in this game. Smith. Strong runner, Kevin Smith. It's a good trier.
Good size winger too. The player I'd be looking for at Brothers to do more work in attack would be Shane McErlean. He's a very good player, has the ability, he's got pace, he can beat a man, but he's not getting involved in the game enough, particularly when they are in key spots where they should be taking advantage of a split defence. Nice play.
1-1. Tackled by Buckley. More enterprise from Brothers. Now McGraw, Jones, Darwin. And, oh, it's loose, but anything can happen. Anything can happen off a loose ball. Shane McErlean can show you that. He can show you that. Bruce Warwick cued him in for the game, and his own. On cue, thank you, Mr. Warwick. Valley's lead 20 points to 6.
Well, as we stated, he is the man that can do things like that. He can beat players, he's got exceptional speed, but he just wasn't getting involved in the game. And Brothers were lucky here, actually. Darwin was trying to get it loose, and then it was good play from here to keep the ball alive. And McErlean from here just does it all on his own. Look at it, a beautiful turn of speed, just ran between the players, stepped around Hegarty with ease, and just had too much pace for the rest of them to get to the line. But a beautiful footwork. Have a look at his acceleration when he does pick up the ball from here. When the pass goes from there to him, the acceleration when he gets into this gap there, he just stood them up and just sprinted away nicely, and then just steps nicely around Hegarty, and then the rest just can't get to him, and he's there for the try.
Moves pretty nippy for a veteran. Yes, he's been playing a lot better football this season, Shane. Makes a difference when you win a few games. And that was shades of vintage Shane there.
Yeah, he started his career as a centre, so obviously that's where his pace and swerve and ability comes from. But his work rate or his involvement in the game has got to be stepped up a bit when you haven't got the other players. Yeah, there it is again. Just that's the part that I like, when he straightened up, he stood upright and he accelerated away from the defence. And when you can accelerate away from the Valley centre three-quarter combination, it's a nice piece of work.
No good.
Darwin can't add the extras, and Valley's lead 20 points to 6. Now, will that give the brethren the lift they need? It should do. Hegarty. Oh, that was a bit high. Cameron Green getting away with that tackle on Conlon. Now they've got the numbers out wide. They're going to run it. Here's Marks into space, trying to do something. Threw at the crowd. They got all muddled up over there. They had the numbers on the far side, but when it came to making the execution, they couldn't do it.
Too hard, the short pass.
Well, here's Shadell. So Brothers now have to defend. Daunt. Williams.
Jimmy Hunter on for Brothers in 14. Paul Harkin takes the rest.
Catton. Back to Daunt. Tweedy and Strasser now. On the final tackle. Daunt. For Crowther. It's bouncing, and that's a try. Has he missed it or has he scored it?
Got a hand on it.
Well, what was Andrew Crowther doing over there?
He went to sleep, and that was always on. It was Burke's call, and he was there to touchdown.
Bruce?
Beautifully placed kick from Dawn. It went straight over Crowther, but from here there was certainly no urgency.
None whatsoever.
And Burke just came from the clouds, but it's nice to be running onto a well-placed kick like that, because he had everything going for him. He could see Crowther wasn't there, and he got the one hand down on it very cleanly.
So that's how you undo all the good work. It only took 4 minutes from McErlean's try to this. Well, that's the difference in the kicking game. Brothers' kicking tonight has been senseless. That had purpose, planned, no doubt rehearsed, and executed.
Did you rehearse that flurry of words to execute it?
No, I had to think a while before I could get it out, but Andrew Crowther didn't read the play at all.
No, he certainly, let's not take anything away from Brett Dawn. His placement of the kick was superb. He put it over Crowther's head and it rolled nicely. But this is the difference. Their kicking game is good and the players respond to it. And it's certainly not the same for Brothers.
Now,
this man's kicking game has also been brilliant tonight.
After a 5 from 5 to keep his record intact for the year. Can't do so. Valley's lead 24-6, 12 minutes gone, second half. So, brothers come back a little bit slowly. Hello, there's portable telephones and so Valley's on the final tackle, 10 out from their own quarter with a lead of 24-6. Conlon. Well, that might just about summarise the night, I think.
Yes, he just took that one far too easy. The kick was there, it was simple. It just went up, it was a perfect bounce. He just took it far too simple, and oh, you feel bad when they go straight through like that.
Shadell to feed. Catton at the back now. Shadell's got a bit of room. Don't lay off him. Inside to Cameron Grigg. Will his weight and momentum get him there? I think he did. Yes, he's in. Cameron Grigg in to score.
Good strength.
28 points to 6 Valley's lead. Favours him with a little bit of a draw. And he's just drawn it too much, I think. Just missed, no goal. Valley's lead 28-6. Jones misses out Hooper to McErlean. And he's through the gap. Now can he link up? Oh, that was forward, I think, to Churchill, but he's going to pay the try. Well, brothers are back in business momentarily. And Shane McErlean's done it again. Churchill backed up on the inside. And that makes it 28 points to 10.
I was just about to be critical of McErlean because he hadn't been involved in the play, but here he goes. They're straight across field. Too much pace for them again. Gets in the clear, but the go is here to look for the pass. He reels forward. The referee was in good position, but by gee, the angle, we might see it better on the head-on. Looks like he could have been half a yard forward, because have a look as McErlean shades around. He has to come right around against his body, and it would be hard for the ball to go backwards from here, because that hand that was there, and Lachlan Churchill scores the try. But, well, the 4 points have gone to brothers anyway. Let's have a look at this one. McErlean going across field, and there's that acceleration again. Too quick for them, straight through, a nice little step. Now he looks here, he couldn't get the pass clean, he had the support outside, rolls in the tackle, and hands the ball off one-handed to Churchill.
Darwin to try and add the extras. Well, I think the less said about that, the better. 28-10 it is, 20 minutes gone, second half. They've got to consolidate possession in their own quarter. And when the chances come, they've got to make the most of it.
He'd be a very disappointed coach, Greg Holborn, because I know him fairly well and he's a very intense person. And he had laid down the instructions, as Rod told us before the game, on how to play Valleys, not to be too overawed, just keep it simple, and the players haven't been able to do what he said.
Hold it, put him out. Get my ball. Let him go.
Now I see Colin Prince on for brothers in jersey 15.
Replaced Steve Telfer some time ago.
Right. So, of course, with the Winfield State League, the interchange rule applies. In other words, the 4 reserves can come on and off as much as they like. Tweedy, been a little bit quieter tonight, Rod.
He hasn't had a lot of opportunities, though. Different game to what we saw him play against Redcliffe.
Boys to Daunt. Strasser. Now,
David Burke calls for the kick.
Shadell puts up the left foot.
Inside the 5. Inside the 5, winger.
Well, there you go. Inside the 5. And a little bit of back chat, so an extra 10 metres.
Yeah, so
Not so sure there wasn't a boot in there, a little trip in there after Dawn had kicked that ball.
There was.
Who was the culprit, you know?
Couldn't pick him, sorry.
I saw Steve Hegarty try and get even with a Jimmy Hunter hit when Hegarty was carrying the ball that failed miserably.
It's Colin Prince. Holds it up for Jones. And Boys has got one in the throat. It's getting pretty tough out there, Tiles.
They certainly are, and Boise came off the receiving end of a tackle that he was trying to make the head high and copped it in the throat.
And in comes the touch judge. Tony Maxsood.
I think Richard Boyce just having trouble getting the breath, has obviously copped it right in the neck area, and just a bit of a panic there for a moment where he couldn't get his breath. So have a look at the shot again. It was Jones from dummy half, trying to sprint away, turns and takes on. Actually took Boys, and I think as he swung around, Boys might have copped the elbow in the neck, but certainly not intentional. But Richard's a very tough fellow, and he gives plenty. And I'm sure you won't be too affected by that.
Steve Hegarty's been called out here, the penalty going to Brothers. What'd you make of that, Rod?
Actually, that was the one, Rod, sorry for interrupting, that was the one that I mentioned earlier there. He copped one from Hunter when he was carrying the ball, and his attempt to even it up back there. So, sorry to come in over the top.
That's fine, and we're back with Crowther. He's only 10 metres out from the line. Brothers have got the last 8 penalties. Telfer. Richard Boy's been cautioned on the run. Oh, that's a bit high, Lindsay Williams.
I'll tell you what,
might be lucky to stay.
I'm glad I'm on the sideline. Gee, it's willing stuff now. The last 5 minutes, sensational hits.
He's got
Gone.
10.
10 minutes.
Now, what's Rubisame coming in, having his 2 bobs worth? He's not the captain, is he? Although Tony Catton's the captain. Oh, heavy stuff here. Now Brothers and Valley's pouring it on.
Richard Boy's in there again, the tackler.
Kennedy will play it to McGraw. He goes from dummy half. Held up. No try.
Richard Boy is certainly getting back into the play as quick as we can, as we see McGaw try and dive over from dummy half. Too much defence there for him to get the ball down. But, gee, there was a couple of big shoulder charges in that last 6 tackles.
And here's Shadell. Now, has anyone got the speed to get him? Here comes Kevin Smith. Here comes Andrew Crowther. I don't think they're going to pick him up. They've got no hope, and the little fella's in. He's run nearly the length of the pitch. Well, how's that? 32 points to 10, the lead for Valleys.
A superb piece of work from Shadell from the scrum base. When everyone else was gearing themselves up for big hits, this little fellow just picked the ball up, and then it shows this magnificent pace that he's got. Both wingers had every chance to get him, but he was just too quick for them. And unlike the try that we saw from Redcliffe's little halfback last week, Robinson, this fellow never looked like not making it. He's a beautifully balanced runner with a lot of speed. He just set his eyes on that corner and says, I'm away for a try, and they didn't look like catching him. A beautiful try to Trevor Shadell.
So how many he scored 4 tries against Brothers the last time he's played them. He's got, well, how many tonight? 2? Oh, well, he's got 10 minutes left to make another 4. Or to make another 2 to make it 4. So he certainly likes playing against the brethren.
It's good work when you can run away from both wingers like that, and he's ran from the scrum base. He beat the Brothers' defence at 5'8" and lock with absolute ease, and then just had too much pace. So having a look back from where the scrum was placed, he's run a good 90-odd metres.
Got anything to add, Mr. T?
What can you say on top of that?
Thanks.
I was just having a yarn to Lou Crane, who's down here puffing on the sideline. It's a bit different than Rocky. He said, gee, he can run, can't he? I said, mate, you did well to get within 20 metres of him.
Just having a look at Lou Crane there, right? He looks like he might enjoy a drink up there at Rockhampton.
I think they've seen him in the Barra Brothers a few times. But he's done a pretty good job, you know. I mean, that we were a little critical of that try earlier on, but having a look at that replay, he wasn't far out of position at all.
No goal. Valleys lead 32-10. Strassard tackled Conlon.
Just doesn't release at all. And then pushes him over as he goes past.
Kicking practice over at Brothers during the week, Mr. T.
Plenty of kicking practice for a number of players. Just a call from Ross Henrick. Interesting comment. He wants Valleys to slow the Brothers' ruck down. Obviously, he feels that they're just starting to maybe get the edge in the centre there, and Catton and a couple of others doing some silly things.
Draw. Now Jones. Telfer. Short of the quarter. Back to Prince. And he's away. He's home. He'll get there, I think. Yes, he's there. He got there. Yes, he got there, Colin Prince. Brothers in to score. Valleys lead 32-14. I mean, the longest 3 or 4 seconds of his life.
Have a go at the playback here, because what we see is some good lead-up work, and what Rod was saying was exactly right. Brothers have the chance to break them on the fringe where they are a bit loose, and some good work here as the ball is kept alive, and then out from here. Now look at the dummy. It stands from standing still, the big dummy, and then sprints away. Now the ankle tap here, falls, is expecting to be hit from behind, can't get up. When he finds there's no one there, he tries to go again and then makes it in Hegarty's tackle. But good work here, a good standing run from the dummy, and then it's going to come up from here. Sorry, there it is. The big dummy, the stand, inside, and then away he goes, flies for the line, gets the ankle tap there, stumbles. Be interesting to see the look on his face, and he still tries to go. And then from the other wing, it was Steve Hegarty trying to stop him.
Telfer standing in the tackle. Showed a lot of toe off the mark, but Catton, being a good lock, just did the ankle tap. Come on, son, you can get there. Yes, over you go. And he's finally made his ground. 32-14 as Johnny McGraw takes over the kicking duties.
But whoever's spying for the other two sides, and one of those are going to make the final against Valleys, the work is definitely to be made on the edge of the ruck. They need their good ball carriers to be carrying the ball. A goal on that occasion being kicked by Johnny McGraw.
Valleys lead 32-16. Well, Bruce, we're in the last 4 minutes of the match. What do you think in an overall picture? Not that picture there, that's pretty glum. What about painting a rosier one for Brothers for the Winfield Cup down the track?
Yeah, I think they've got some very good players, and I'm particularly impressed with Eric Kennedy. I think he's a very good player, but he's running too close to the ruck. He's taking the ball first man off. They've got a couple of good ball players. Tony Jones is a good ball player. If they can get Jones and Harkin out wider, and also get a stronger work rate out of Shane McErlean, and Jimmy Hunter makes it into the pack, I think they've got a good side there that can go on with it. But the thing that would disappoint me, and has obviously disappointed Greg Holborn, they don't follow instructions very well.
Lindsay Williams out of the sin bin. His 10 minutes are up, 13-13 again.
Hooper.
Jimmy.
Hunter, pass inside, nice work to Telfer. And he's 5 metres out from the line. And that might be the end of him for the night. Yes, it is. 5 in the bin. You won't see out the end of the game. See you, Steve. Thanks for coming. Professional foul. So Hegarty's over the dead ball line and off for an early shower. So McGraw gives it to Telfer. Ooh. Hit solidly by Rubinstein. Jones behind McErlean. Picked up by Conlon. So Brothers still have the ball. McGraw away to Jones. Marks, who's run strongly tonight. And he'll be off for 5. Surely, if he's given Hegarty 5, you've got to get 5. No, Buckley stays there. Back to Crowther in the final 90 seconds. Prince. To Jones and McErlean. Kennedy. Hit hard, losing it to Strasser. I'll tell you something about Sean Rubis, He does go in and give him some.
That was a magnificent hit on Eric Kennedy on that occasion. He just took in full body contact and drove him backwards, and that's no mean feat. Have a look at the hit. Kennedy takes the ball forward, but there's Rubison right under the ribs and just keeps driving back. Beautiful hit.
So Brothers take the tap in the last 45 seconds. McGraw gives it to Jones and McErlean. Shows them, oh yes, he's had a big game tonight, Shane McErlean. And I think when Brothers run out for the first Winfield Cup match, he might be playing 5'8". I might have to reconstruct a few things, but he's played beautifully tonight, Shane McErlean. And Valleys leave 32-20.
He just has that ability. He just showed the ball then and just ran between a very tired defence to score an easy try. But I'm still not impressed with the amount of times he runs with the ball. No one expects him to do that every time, but he does have to carry the football forward a lot more times than what he's done in this game, even though he's come up with 2 tries and a couple of good breaks. But a beautiful try that time. He just ran around a very tired Richard Boys and put it down for a very good try.
Question. How many straight penalties do you think Brothers have had in this match?
Well, Mr. Crane has certainly given them a good go. I would think they were up 6 at one stage. I'll go 12.
Wrong. 15.
15 straight penalties. Unbelievable. And they've still come up defeated by 32 points to 22.
And that's it. That's full time. Valleys into the final of the Winfield State League. They defeat Brothers in the semi-final by 32-22.
Victoria semi-final coach for the Valleys Diehards, Rossy Henrick. Ross, still in running football from your Diehards tonight. They've done well, even though you've suffered some injuries.
Yeah, we got a patched up side there tonight. We probably got about 7 missing, I suppose, from our early side we had this year. But, you know, they run the ball pretty well tonight.
Just a couple of times late in the game when Brothers started to put some tries on the board, McErlean went back to 5'8". He seemed to make a difference there for them.
Yeah, McErlean was running a bit wide. We had a couple of our second rowers who were probably starting to knock up. They were getting caught out wide, but you know, I think they're going to have to do a bit more than that to beat us.
OK, mate, your Sunday team with those injuries, have you got some concerns?
Yeah, Corny's he's got a bit of an elbow injury. Darren Fraser broke a collarbone. Rollsy's twisted his ankle. So, you know, apart from them, it's not much.
Well, good luck Sunday, mate. Who would you like to see?
Probably Brothers.
Can't see them. You've got to face North Queensland or East.
North Queensland, I reckon they're going to put it east this time.
OK, mate, well done.
Thanks a lot.